Hey lovies, welcome back to my channel. I'm your Trend Ty and I'm your girl Ty Mars. Okay, so in today's video, I was challenging the LA Girl Pro Concealers if you can get a complete full face of even complexion. And as well as I'm teaching how to color match to get your perfect even complexion. So if you'd like to see the rest of this tutorial, just keep watching. Now we're going to go straight into the colors. Now for foundation, I picked 3 shades that look the closest to my skin tone. And what's really helpful is if you have a palette, or girl, put it on the back of your hand, if anything, just to make sure that you're not having the colors look disheveled or you're having them out of place. So I'm going to step away, put a couple of drops right here, and we're going to do them in color order, and then we're going to swatch it onto the face. Okay, so I have a tan, and we all know I have hyperpigmentation. So for me, when I'm color matching foundation traces, I always want to match the décolletage, aka the 5 seconds worth of skinny. I like to make sure that my face matches my body. My face, no matter if it's tan or anything or trying to catch up, my face is always lighter than my body. So we're going to go in with the colors Toffee, Toast, and Espresso. Now these shades I know probably just look like brown, whatever, and I'm not really big on mixing. And the point of this video, I wanted to see if I'm able to buy a full face, and then I can go to my local beauty supply and we can just load up on this little summer tease, right? So let's get the swatching. So with swatching, I'm just taking a regular concealer brush, and I'm just going to take each color and I'm just going to take it from right here all the way from face to neck, right here and right here. Now the point of doing light swatches like this is to give a nice saturated amount so we can see those colors. And usually when I'm talking to customers, my best reference is to think of a paint swatch. When you put those swatches on the wall and you think it's going to be that color, and then when that fancy term oxidizes, it dries down, and then when you're blending it out, which takes 5 to 8 seconds, you see that true color in the way that it blends out in our natural oils. So now I'm going to buff out these colors and see who disappears the most. And that's the really big tell. It's not about wiping out the color, it's more about patting it out, because I always felt like wiping out the color basically does the job for the company, and then now and then we end up going home the wrong color. Now you're probably thinking, you're doing swatches like this on your face, why aren't you doing this on your hand? Like I tell my girls every day, we don't tan like this, okay? Either our hands, vice versa, are darker or lighter than our bodies. So just in case if you want to bring home someone else's foundation color, let's just not and always match face to body in the best way that we can. And now you can see each one, and this is with a dense concealer one. But so far already, I'm gonna zoom in the video just so you can see this color right here. I'm not liking that, and it's too yellow base. And the sad part is, if you blend it completely out, you'd be like, oh, it's fine, it's great, but it can give you that weird white cast just because it has so much of a strong yellow undertone. Now for these two colors, I like how this one is meshing, because the lighter points of my face is usually where my cheek is, so that kind of gives a little discomfort to anyone who's usually color matching me. And I usually like neutral undertones, but the way I see this blending out, we got to make sure, because we want it to literally disappear, sis. Okay, and I don't like to go with that first option because I like to give that second color the benefit of the doubt. And it's kind of like when you're trying to figure out what color a baby's gonna be, like, oh, look at the ears, we gotta match into the ears. Now already What shade do you think I will go with? I definitely think it's going to be this girl in the middle. Now this one right here is definitely perfect, and on those days when I want to be more super bronze, I will probably pull this back out. Like, it's not a bad color, but this nice little color in the middle is neutralized. It's like the best of both colors. It's yellow undertone, but it's not too red and opaque as this one that's right here. So you see that? Also a darker color that also helps right here in the middle of my décolletage. So I'm not mad at it. Yeah, happy with her. So we're gonna blend out those colors, and then now we're gonna pick a concealer color. Now with concealers, it can be very tricky just because it's all based on preference. Some people like that really bright highlight. Some people like spot treatment, which is something that's closer to your skin tone but maybe a shade lighter, just to give you a little more brightness but still have that natural even finish of you not really having on concealer. And then some people just like something that's right in the middle, that's really neutral, that has both brightness and that same factor of being more of a spot treatment color. So one of the colors that I did bring back from the foundation swatches is Toffee. Now for me, I like more of a yellow based concealer that's not too opaquely frosted yellow and not nasty dirty yellow, which is basically like mustard, but something that's just, you know, rich but also won't give me flashback. And I always say, don't buy frosty pink, that neutral color that looks ghostly and gray, or dirty yellow, aka mustard. So I'm going to swatch Toffee first. See how it's bright, but it's not too super bright, which is, I kind of like that. Then we're going to go in with Almond. And Almond is a little brighter than Toffee, but not too much. They're like a slight hue up. And with the color range with LA Girl, Toffee is 984, and then Almond is 979. So you see that number jump, not too much brighter, but just a step lighter, just so you can see the difference. And then the old reliable that's really popular around YouTube, that everybody knows this color, Cool Tan. Now Cool Tan is always chosen and always the go-to, even if you're just picking up a quick concealer just to give you evening on a brightness. But because I got a little tan, I don't want to go too frosty. For me, I like more of a sculpted look with my contour and my highlight. So now we're going to swatch Cool Tan right towards my nose area. Now with me looking in my mirror, Cool Tan is way too bright for me right now. I mean, I definitely can use it and blend it down really greatly, but the only thing is, it will probably give me a little flashback, and this is definitely not a color I could just put on and just blend evenly. Like, you got to put a little work in for this color. Then Almond, I love how it's neutral, has that golden undertone, but it's not so neutral that it looks gray, if you get what I mean, as how I explained earlier. And then Toffee, it's bright, but as a concealer, it will do better probably in like my lighter end of complexion, meaning my foundation color, because it's giving me that dirty yellow color I was talking about, looking a little honey mustard, making me want a sandwich. So who are we going with? Ding ding ding, Almond right there. She's cute. And I know when you're probably looking at my face, you're like, girl, that is beige, beige, and beige. But we all know, just like when you go get you an Essie nail polish and you say, I want a nude, and we always end up picking Ballet Slipper. Same type of nude all the way across the board, but it's different. So I'm going to take this off my face, and then we're going to go into my contour shade. Now, contour is another tricky one. I always get this question, what's the best contour shade? And the one thing I always tell clients is this: preference. Again, it's all based on what do you like. Do you like that more understated contour where it's just like a slight little definition, which is considered sculpting? Or do you like that gone forward, come for your neck, snatch from the eyebrows, from the depth of the spirits, drag queen style puzzle piece contour where we can see from 3 blocks down? Now, for some people, it can definitely be blended out and be great and amazing. But if you're a beginner, I'll always say sculpted is the best way. And personally, well, even when I go for my more extreme and fuller like amount of makeup, I still stay sculpted. I like more of that warm undertone that, I know it's going to sound annoying, but Kim K does it. Like for me, I can take my contour shade around my temples and I do that 3. And then the one thing is, I have a heart-shaped face. So Babyface McGee right here, if I wear too much contour, I get Jigsaw real cute. And then it's really puppety, and then I just look animatronic. And I mean, it looks nice in some photos when it's like HD quality and it's amazing. But for a feminine face, I don't want to look too chiseled, even though it gives me that 5 seconds worth of skinny that we love. Alright, so let's get into these swatches. So, going in with Chestnut, which is my classic one. Like when I first started using LA Girl, like that was like, Chestnut was like the go-to if you wasn't too dark skin, or you wasn't too caramel, or you was just perfectly brown and round. That was perfect. So we're just going to do that swatch again. 1. Ooh. And then the next color we're going in with is Beautiful Bronze. The next shade we're going with is Mahogany. Now, looking at these contour shades, brown, brown, and brown, but you can see the distinction. Now, this one right here, which is Chestnut, I kind of like this one just because it's warm, but it's still neutral, so it's not going to give me that weird red undertone, which I usually get sometimes with certain contour shades, like that irritates me. This right here is way too dang neutral. The funny thing is, I know you're like, is it in color order? It's in color and number order. Isn't that crazy? So you can't even pay attention to numbers. You have to make sure that you swatch things. Like, don't just look at the bottle of something and just think, oh, it's going to do what you need. No. And then this one right here, I can definitely use, but I can see this getting really opaque, really, really warm, really quickly. And I probably would use this, but it depends on my mood. So if I had to go with any of them, definitely this guy right here, Chestnut. Yeah, let's take these off and let's start sculpting this booty. So here's the winning lineup. Here is my LA Girl Pro Concealer face. My concealer, my foundation, and my contour shade. So with my concealer is Almond, which is GC979. My foundation, which is GC985, which is Espresso. My contour is GC989 and Mahogany. So here's this booty, and we're gonna do this right on camera. And it's gonna give that super even complexion that I'm looking for, and also help with my hyperpigmentation. And because it's a thicker consistency, a little bit goes a long way. So instead of me using like a full-on foundation, I can just take a little bit of this with like moisturized skin, primed skin, and I'm good to go. So, and I wanted to try this just because these are so full coverage, and I have these in my kit. So why don't I do this on my own face? So let's test.
And here's the final look. I was also filming this and getting ready for work, and it did pair up really well with my metallic, jewel tone, glowy skin, smoky eye look. But as always, I'll see you in the next one. Later, lovies.
Don't forget to subscribe to see more tutorials, hauls, and videos from me. And oh yeah, check out my latest video.